welcome to another podcast and an episode of Monday Mojo. We're coming at you on Father's Day, June 20th. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, especially my dad, Paulie Schwab. He was in the mafia at one point. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, what?
But happy Father's Day to all the dads. You guys want to give any shout outs to your daddios?
Yep, shout out Pops, Mr. John, Walter Sobba. And I want to make sure the Devil Rays give us a shout out because we are their daddy and we just swept them, baby. How sweet it is.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think we said we'd be fine with 3 and 4 over the last 7. Instead, we just get that thing done, get 2 against the Twins, and then sweep those Rays. I think you're right. We are their daddy.
That was, would we say that was unexpected?
I say that's very unexpected. Well, I guess the Rays were
100%
coming in.
But. Yeah, the Rays are like one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah. Arguably were the best team in baseball before they faced us.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Well, what are we most surprised about, right? Like
the sweep, obviously.
Well, number one, the sweep, but JP Crawford, Shed Long. One thing, when I was watching the game last night on Saturday, I didn't recognize Kendall Graven without his beard. And Chris, you had told me the story about that.
Yes.
But I was like, who the hell is this number 46 coming in? It looks.
So Kendall Graven was shaving, and I don't know if he's using like a normal razor or like a buzzer, like a zzz razor. He messed up his beard. And he messed up his beard while he was shaving, so he tried to fix it, and he screwed it up so bad that he's like, I just now have to go barefaced. And it was unintentional. He didn't want to go barefaced, but he had to go barefaced because he was looking like crap. So we got barefaced, babyface Kendall Graven. Not working out too well for him with that barefaced, giving up that dinger against Jed Lau, but whatever the hell his name is.
Why does he pronounce it Lau?
I don't know. I thought it's low. And
everyone in the history of time has pronounced Lowe, low.
Right?
You're not special.
No, and I kept hearing the announcers call him Lau, and I'm like, I guess I was wrong because I kept calling him low. I don't know, but that was sweet, and I guess I'm okay with Kendall giving up that because it just allowed for another walk off, and first time since 2002 the Seattle Mariners have walked off 3 games in a series. That was against Texas back in 2002. So it's been a while. Welcome back to that. It's extremely rare, and goddamn, baby, let's go. How sweet it is, man. I can't believe it. I can't believe we sweep the Devil Rays. When we were recording our last show, we were talking about, our predictions or what we thought was going to happen this next week. And we just wanted to go out even, and we end up almost sweeping the first series, and then we sweep the second series. It just doesn't get any better than that. And in the first series, against Minnesota, we had our most complete game of the entire season where we won 10-0. Starting pitching was absolutely dominant, and everybody had hits in that game. I believe I think there was one guy that didn't, which could have been Seeger.
I think that was Siegs.
Yeah, I think it was Seeger. Everybody got on base, that game except for Seeger. Dylan Moore and Tom Murphy both walked. They didn't get a hit. But nonetheless, dope to see. And shout out to Luis Torrens. All right. I was giving this guy a ton of shit talk, and I wasn't liking him. And he comes back after being down in AAA, comes back and he gets 4 home runs, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not sure what he batted, but that guy was just on fire. Number of ribbies, and his at bats, Chris, you and I were texting. And you're just saying, his approach, what you're saying is just the swings are better. They're at better pitches. And he's for him to be able to get that walk and extend the inning and get the bases loaded. It's just absolutely massive. And then Shed Long. Evan, you and your picks to hits are ridiculous.
I think it's 4 total because I could be wrong, but coming into the game today, he was batting .462. He's now batting .417 in 12 at bats. He has 5 hits, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs. But it's like you're talking about with that 10-0 game where Flexon goes 8 innings pitched, 8 Ks, 0 runs, 0 walks, only 4 hits. The offense exploded. Most runs we've had in a game all year, 10 runs, which is kind of pathetic that we haven't broken that double-digit threshold yet. But I'll take it, man. That was awesome. 8 days.
one of the other things that I'm really excited about too, I read a stat on Chris Flexon, and the last time I saw Chris Flexon pitch, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but at least live, we were at that game against who was it? The game where you, me, Paul, Daniel Orris, Pat. Remember the game that just was.
I remember going to the game. We were pre-funking for that quite a bit.
Well, right, but my point is Chris Flexon showed up, gave up like 5 earned runs in the first 4 innings, and it just was atrocious to watch, right? And then we kind of, admittedly left and headed north to CowGirls. But I read a stat that Chris Flexon, I think from his 7 home starts, has thrown, I think he's got a low 2 ERA, handful of strikeouts, negligible amount of walks. And here he is at the top of as far as our starting rotation, he's got the most wins. Maybe tied with you, nope, he's sitting there at the top with 6 wins. And you start to think about, we've been watching Marco and we've been watching Yusei. Yusei's been dominant, but I think we might have underestimated Chris Flexon. I think he's our bull right now.
Big time. I mean, you couldn't, if you told me at the beginning of the year that Paxton's going to be out, Marco's going to pitch like he is, and then Sheffield, who would have been my 3rd best pitcher, maybe Yusei, but like Sheffield's been struggling. It's like, how does this team put together a good rotation? Well, it's Flexon doing what he's doing. Yusei with 10 of 12 quality starts. Gilbert just continuing to go out, take the ball, and be pretty consistent. I mean, he had 17 first pitch strikes in his last game. He did give up 4, but we get the win. That was the 19th where we went 6-5. And JP had the grand slam in the 2nd inning. That was awesome. Do you guys see that?
Oh my god!
Big
Yeah,
time.
dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I thought that was just going to be bases clearing triple, but
that was so low. The trajectory
we'll
was like
take it.
16 degrees or something.
What was Shed Long's trajectory on the one he hit today?
Not much
It
higher.
got over the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it barely got over. Jake Fraley with another phenomenal catch too. I mean, we in our interview last week when we were talking with Divish was saying that he thought Jared Kelenic is our best outfielder. Jake Fraley has got to be taking the cake.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, he's easily I think easily our best outfielder. I mean, just the way he's tracking these balls down. He did miss that one. Went off the heel of his glove today. It looked like it got lost in the sun right at the last second. And good backup by, I think that was Shed in left field to get that ball and quickly to get Jed Lau to stay at second base and not go to third. But I want to say that Jake Fraley's got to be our most complete outfielder right now.
Was that confusing to anyone else? Because I think Kyle Lewis has done an excellent job. I get that he's hurt, but I feel like he was talking like even if Kyle's healthy, that he's not really a bona fide center fielder. And I'm like, man, come on now. He's covering ground. He made that awesome catch at the wall last year. Like he looks to me more like a center fielder than Kelenic does. And he even mentioned that Kelnic's put it on, he's put on so much weight and he's so muscular that he doesn't really profile to me as a center fielder. But to your point, Fraley is an excellent fielder. It's like when that ball was hit to the wall, I kind of have in my head that Fraley's going to make that catch. And the camera angle was perfect. I don't know if you guys were able to see this, but like you're watching the ball and you could see the apex of the ball perfectly. And you see Fraley tracking it the whole time. And I'm looking from the ball to Fraley, and I'm like, it's right there. It's right there. This could be a wall grab. Boom. Got it.
It was sweet, man.
It just looks good out there, man. It just looks good. And but before we brought him up, like spring training, Chris and I were Sobba and I and Evan, like honestly, but I don't recall Evan having much of a stance, but I had major doubts about Jake Fraley, just like I normally do because I am a pessimist at heart. But he's showing up and he's showing up crucial, right? And one thing I did want to ask you, Chris, is as far as the injury bug is concerned, do you think and I'm not jinxing it, just because I do have a wood desk and I'm not kidding, but have we recovered from the injury bug?
Which Chris?
Yeah, which Chris you asking here, buddy?
God damn it! I said Sobba, I think, but
No, you said Chris.
I'm just giving you a hard time, man.
I don't know if
like
I don't know if you could say we've recovered from the injury bug, but we've been able to, the depth that we have has been able to beat the injury bug. We have our own vaccine for the injury bug, and it's a shit ton of depth in our system. And the guys that we keep bringing up continue to be good. And the
perform,
biggest point or biggest person, I guess, that's done this quietly somewhat because he hasn't had monster hits, but Jake Bauers. Jake Bauers has got he got a hit today. He's carrying a 9-game hitting streak now, and I mean he's just getting on base. The hits aren't solid hits. And so like, I don't know how much luck is getting back onto our side when we've had the luck go the other way. For Jared Kelenic, when he first came up, for example, hitting absolute ropes, they're going to somebody every time. Right now, Jake Bauers is not hitting absolute ropes. He's hitting dinkers and bloopers, but they're getting into the outfield grass or he's beating out little base hits. He's got some sneaky wheels. He stole a base today. Jake Bauers is, I mean, and I like having him. One, he can play first base. He also can play the outfield. And so that's been allowing for our diversity amongst our defense to get kind of, to stay diverse, I guess, and so we can have people at different positions. But Jake Bauers, I mean, that guy's going off. He's 25 years old. He's young. And so this guy could be hopefully, one of those guys where when we gave Chris Taylor to the Dodgers for Zach Lee or some no-name pitcher who isn't in the league anymore, this could be one of those, hopefully. I know that's a long way down the road. I'm jumping to conclusions here, but, I'm also an optimist. So that's what I'm kind of seeing.
This could be a little quirky, but it's like when you play like Madden, you kind of get to know the league a little bit more just because you're like looking at ratings. And I know that those ratings aren't like, gold, but that's
playing, how I got to know soccer, just through FIFA.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm playing MLB The Show and I'm looking at Jake Fraley's vision. They got it right in there. They got an 85 vision on Jake Fraley. And then Bauers has an A potential. That's pretty good.
Let's go. I love to see the A potential on that. Normally those potentials are pretty low.
No, yeah, he's got an A potential, man. So I traded for him in that game.
I stopped playing the show because I couldn't figure out how to, like, if there's a runner that we don't have to go too far down this rabbit hole, but it's been driving me nuts because I want to keep playing it. When there's a runner that's like booking it for third base from first, and there's a base hit, and the outfielder has like this slow down vision where you have to like time it perfectly and gun him at third. I don't know what to do. I press all the buttons, and then the ball goes sailing off. Anyway, I stopped playing that since I don't know how to.
That forced you to stop playing it. That's
got to be user.
No, it's not. Maybe it is, but like no one has come to me with a solution, not even the internet.
So you guys want to break down this week?
Yeah, one thing I also want to say real quick before I guess we fully break down. Y'all follow Lydia Cruz on Twitter?
Yep.
She's awesome.
No, I follow her on Instagram.
Okay, well, I got her on Twitter too. She just is like the ultimate like Manners fan, and she just like loves the Manners like us. And she put out a tweet. Apparently her mother, every time her mother goes to a game, she brings a bag of M&Ms and she calls them the Rally M's. And I absolutely love that. So for Seattle, we could play this perfectly because Beast Mode and Skittles, every time Beast Mode would score a touchdown, Skittles would be flying on the field. So when we get a rally as Manor fans, if we're bringing M&Ms, baby, to the ballpark, I got the M&Ms peanut butter flavor, by the way, because those are the GOAT. But we bring these to the stadium. And when we are getting in these rally situations, we got our rally caps and our rally M's, and when we hit walkouts or something, we're throwing M&Ms everywhere. Like that will be a lot of fun, and that could be a fun little play on the word M's. But
give me some of those M&Ms right here. You got it?
There you go, and I'll eat them for you. They're so good, baby.
That's hilarious. That's good YouTube content right there.
That is. I really do want to get the rally M's to be a thing. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
I like the crispy M&Ms, by the way.
They're good. The blue package.
Yeah, that light blue.
Yeah. The
light blue hits different.
It does hit different. It does. But I just absolutely love peanut butter. And the French don't like peanut butter. They actually hate peanut butter.
That seems like a generalization.
No. My buddy had a foreign exchange student back in high school, and we were all having dinner, and she like peanut butter was on the table. I don't know what we were eating for dinner that needed to have peanut butter on there, but we had it, and we were all eating it, and she's looking at us like, "What is wrong with you guys?" And we're like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Why are you eating peanut butter?" And we're like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Peanut butter sucks." We're like, "What do you mean?" And then we
like, that's for dogs.
Yeah, and then we tried to get her to eat the peanut butter. And she's like, no. We're like, eat the peanut butter. And then she like took a spoonful of it and like ate it. And then she like hated it and spit it out. I'm like, is this just you or like what? She's like, no, French people hate peanut butter. And I'm like, all right, that's a little weird, but maybe it is a generalization. If we have any French listeners, let me know your take on peanut butter. I love it. And if you don't like it, I want to know why. It's pretty damn good. I put it on everything. And if you don't double up your bread when you're making a PB&J with peanut butter, and you just do peanut butter on one and jelly on the other without peanut butter on both and jelly in the middle, I think that's a little psychotic.
I used to have,
okay.
My mother used to make me jelly sandwiches when I was little.
Just jelly?
Just jelly and butter.
Wait, what?
You got to toast that bread if that's the case.
Often it wasn't toasted. It just was freaking white bread, butter, and
anyways, I'm glad that we had that little segue.
I will say, I want to talk about the two games that I attended this past week. The first game was on Wednesday. It was the series closer of the Twins. And as we all know, that was a very miserable game to watch and not to mention to be in attendance for. But what ended up happening is I went with a good girlfriend of mine, and we stayed for the first like 4 innings in our seats. There was this gal that was screaming next to us, and I gave her our business card. I don't know if she's going to be listening. She just seemed really angry the entire time, as were we, but I'm able to let the world keep spinning.
Did you move seats from her?
No, well, let's just say I moved seats. No, I left our seats to go to the beer garden for the rest of the game. Club Safeco, and then went to CowGirls afterwards. The next day, Thursday, was a hell of a game to be at for a number of reasons. Most notably, Chris Sobba got his hands on arguably Diamond Club tickets. We're talking 14 rows up from home plate, and therefore I think it was about 5 rows from the actual Diamond Club.
Four rows up.
4 rows up? Yeah, well, we're better than Diamond Club people anyway. So we watched the entire game. Chris and I had a few beverages before and at the game, and let's just say there were a few moments in which I wanted to get Chris to calm down because as our listeners know, as we know, we're passionate Mariner fans. Sometimes that passion comes at a fault, right? I, for one, am why are you shaking your head?
My passion never comes off as a fault.
Well, here's where I'll disagree, but I love the hell out of you, and you know this, but I'm more of a reserve fan, right? I'll give a once in a while, hey, better swing, better.
Shout out for their day off.
Canada, swing, better. But Chris wants to make the entire, both teams know that he's there, right? Which is fun and whatnot, but I tend to overthink things a lot, and there were a few plays that I admittedly got very upset about too. There were a couple really bad calls. I think that Service had made where we should have dropped down a bunt, or we should have done some other offensive tactic or what have you.
Well, that's a specific example you're bringing up right now is when Jake Fraley was up to bat and Tampa Bay decided to put 4 guys in the outfield and then shove everybody on the right side of the infield. And so he had it was like a 1-1 count when they made that shift or that switch, and the entire left side of the infield is wide open. And it's like, why would you not have this guy bunt? And he didn't bunt. And I was extremely upset because he ended up striking out. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's a tight game right now. We need base runners. And you're having the guy swing when there's 4 outfielders and there's nobody on the left side of the damn infield. Bunt the ball. I don't love bunting, but
Oh, I do.
You got to be smart. You got to be smart when you utilize it, and we are utilizing it a little bit more as of late, which is good to see. Luis Torrens yesterday popped one up today. I think Shed Long popped him up as well. But then we did it again. Dylan Moore got the bunt down, and he ended up getting the bunt for the hit. So the small ball has been getting utilized within the Mariners a bit more, which I do like to see.
Well, I'll finish my story first, and then I have a quick take on bunting, because bunting is arguably, a very undervalued strategy in baseball. The fact of the matter is, no one can freaking do it.
Exactly.
But that's a different story, right? My point on Chris, right? There was a period of time come around the 7th inning when it's a close game, and we were down, and there were a couple opportunities. It was like sitting next to a cranky toddler that had just woken up from a nap.
Mariner toddler.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like I'm sitting there, I'm having my third overpriced beer, and I'm there comes a time in the evening of the Mariner game when you kind of just sit back and you hear the train in the background, and the summer cool evening air is there, and you just kind of start to appreciate where you're at despite the score or the situation. But freaking Chris, man, I felt so bad for him. He just was like screaming. He just was angry. And I remember so much so where I was like, hey, look, man, I need to separate myself because now you're making me anxious. So I went up 10 rows and just sat by myself so I could kind of find my inner peace again. And then get this, you couldn't have written a better script. The 9th inning comes around, and I'm like, I think it was either the top of the night. I think it was the top of the ninth. I come back down, and it's a 1-run game. We're down, and I just was like, all right, Chris, like, let's do this, And music starts coming on, and we start dancing, and then one of the camera guys comes down and starts filming Chris and I, right? And then Mariners come up to bat. We get a run in or something, and the rally caps start getting on, and Chris and I are dancing, and everyone around us has
synchronized dancing,
and everyone around us has finally kind of stopped giving us the cold shoulder for all of our shouting and banter. So now everyone's looking at us like celebrities, right? Because they're like, oh, these guys know how to freaking get down in the bottom of the ninth. And so Kyle Seeger comes up to bat, pinch hit. I honestly, if the 3 of the 4, or however many walk-offs we had this week, this was my favorite, not only because we were there live, but Seeger, right, struggled the night before, or had been struggling, right, didn't get many hits in the 10-0 blowout or at all. Seeger comes out of his day off and just knows exactly what the hell he's doing. And it makes us realize, I think the final point I'm trying to make here is we cannot underestimate the power of Seeger, right? Like, so many times, myself included, have brought up the idea of, oh, we got to get rid of Seeger, man. Like, we got to bring in more young talent, and Seeger's nearing the end of his career, blah, blah, blah. But that was exactly why we have Seeger on the squad. End of story, being Chris and I probably were on television, but no one was watching. So,
and another reason I was kind of I got upset during that game is less related to baseball, more related to the PA system in Mobile Park. One of my favorite times when I'm at a ball game, my favorite times during that 7th inning stretch.
Pissed about that too.
The 7th inning stretch, you do the boat race or whatever, I forget what, the God Bless America happens, and then after, immediately Louie comes on, and normally it's blasting. And in this specific situation, it was quieter than like 3 blind mice sneaking into the fridge for some cheese. It was so quiet. And I'm like, I'm trying to get up on my feet, and I'm trying to get everybody else up on their feet to sing Louie because it's such a banger. And it was just so quiet. And I'm like, come on, man. Hey, that's another little thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Hey, Evan and I are going to have like a 5-minute conversation since you guys had the last 5 minutes.
That's fair.
Evan, what's up, dude? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. I'm a little hungover. I was celebrating a Rainiers.
You better be feeling great. I think you just won this week again. That's 3-0, baby.
Yeah, I know you guys are gonna give me shit again on some
No,
crazy guy
never
thing
again.
Yeah,
Shed
yeah.
Long? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Shed Long?
So Evan
But
has this knack.
Max was saying that his
I
favorite-
have this special power, I think, where I pick the guy who's gonna do good, and it's a guy who's probably been playing shitty the last few weeks, and then he just turns it on. Like it happened with JP, it happened with Jake Fraley, and now you're seeing it with Shed Long. So
Evan, it's not just this though. Like I don't mean to talk shit to you here, but in fantasy leagues, like I never think that you're gonna be that good. I never think you're gonna be bad, but you always get to the playoffs, and then you won it this last year. Like there's something about like when it's fantasy or it's pick to hits, this is what you do here. You're good. You're good at that stuff, and I apologize for my past disbelief in your ability.
That's big of
to
you,
do these
Sobba.
things. Yes, and so I apologize, and I respect the hell out of your thought process now. Well done.
yeah, it's been I'll go back to fantasy football. It's been a long journey, and I'm happy to finally get over the hump and join you at the winners table, Chris. We've got a ship in the in Marshall's fantasy football league, so it's fun. I don't know. I just I just kind of just go with my gut feeling, and it just tends to work out. I did not know last week though that we could pick the same player, not every 2 weeks. So that's why I went with Shed Long. But I don't know. I just
Chris,
I figured.
Did Evan win that on that walk off? Because I was winning with JP.
I think he had the lead, but that was just like I text the group chat. And I'm like, it's definitely over now because he just got 4 RBIs. He got a home run.
So there's 8.
Yeah, and then
yeah. So I think he won it on the walk off. So it was a walk off win for Evan.
he might have.
Let's
yeah.
go.
I mean, it's just a weekend filled with walk offs.
Max, you were saying that walk off was your favorite, which I get it. You guys were there, and it was the first one. But this last one, the one that happened today, I know this is recorded on a Sunday, dropped on a Monday, and we don't play on Monday. So I don't want to steal your line either, Sobba, but not to be confused, I'm talking about today as Sunday. We win it on a walk-off grand slam. Man, that's not going to happen again in the whole year. That's awesome.
Right. Like I was saying,
that's got to be the best walk-off.
The last walk-off grants, that's the 9th one we've had in team history, which I think is actually a lot. But the first one since Richie Sexton back in 2006. Before that was Brett Boone back in 2004. So this shit does not happen. But it's cool. It's cool to see that. And
I think the novelty of the Seeger one was just like, okay,
being there.
Yeah. Well, again, it's being there, but
it's also the first one.
The bats were quiet, right? And runners in scoring position, and then the fans look at who's on deck and who just decided to show up that day, and it was Kyle Seeger, and it was just more of a feeling like we knew something was going to go down. We knew he was going to produce. Whereas today's Shed Long situation, right? The bases were loaded, nobody out, right? And before you know, but what I'm saying, it started bases loaded with nobody out, and before you know it, there's 2 outs and nothing has happened, and it's just kind of like the sentiment of the fans going into that at bat was just low.
It was definitely it was low for me. I was like, I was pissed at Trammell for that base running error, because I know if you're on third and there's 1 out, you are going on contact. But with the infield push in and no outs, you have to wait till that ball gets through. So Trammell makes a base running error, and it's also on who's our third base coach? Acta?
It's Manny Acta, but Manny Acta is actually phenomenal at being he's like the best third base coach in the league.
He might be, but what is the conversation when he's standing there? It's like, Trammell, wait till this ball gets through. If it's a ground ball, you have to see if it's fielded. You can't get stuck in the middle of the third base path, because they have no choice but to go home. Like, they're gonna go home and try to pick you up, and it wasn't even close. No. He was halfway down the line, and the ball's in the catcher's glove. And great, now we're screwed. There was great base running though on Terrence to come around and get to second, or.
No, because Dylan Moore had gotten the bunt. And we had runners on the corners, and Dylan Moore had his head up the whole way, seeing what was happening with Trammell, and he ended up being able to switch spots with him essentially. Right. So that was huge. So kudos to Demo for that.
But it's like Max was saying, we get to 2 outs and Shed Long's up. He takes a high inside first strike, which it was probably a ball. And then I think he has 2 strikes on him. He works it to 2-2. And then that's just excuse me, but that's just amazing.
Were you just
amazing
choking up
inning.
there? Were you just choking up from how
I would like
emotional?
to think it was a choke up, but it was actually just a burp.
Well, also shout out to our starting pitchers this series. 21 innings, 16 hits, 3.00 ERA, only 6 walks and 20 Ks. That's Justin, Yusei, Logan, and Marco. All of them combined for that 4-game sweep. Justin Dunn is on the 10-day IL, getting hurt. So that kind of sucks. But the Mariners did come out announcing that they will be sticking with the 5-man rotation for the foreseeable future until the All-Star break, and that's at minimum. So yeah, we're finally getting out of that 6-man rotation. I'm very happy about that, and we just get to see more of Yusei and Logan, and it seems like Marco's turning the corner, getting more comfortable from his outing today. Today he went 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and 3 balls on 6 Ks. Didn't give up a run until the 6th inning, and so that was a really good outing by him.
Yeah, that's the Marco that we're looking for, and it's just one start, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. So if Marco can be what he is, the fact that Kikuchi's done what he has is amazing. And then Flexon, as we were talking about, Sheffield needs to get back on track, but that's a decent little starting rotation there. Gilbert as well. You're talking about a 5-man rotation. I'll take those 5. No bona fide ones, or you could argue Marco's a 2. He certainly hasn't been this year. Kikuchi's probably a 2. But everyone just goes out there and pitches. The thing I like about the Mariners right now is that they're kind of finding an identity. They're starting to, they always have, but they're attacking the zone even more so now. And they're playing behind their defense because we have a good defense. And then on offense, they're making that pitcher in the 4th inning. You look up and he's got 70 pitches.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree, especially in a situation with the Rays, right? They're at one point 4 days ago, they were at the top of the AL. And, I admittedly don't know too much about their pitching situation. Obviously, they're good enough to have the record that they do. But, that is the most effective way. And it's just classic, good old fashioned baseball when you're able to take, any starting pitcher, 80 pitches by the 5th inning, right?
Right.
And that is, again, just clean cut baseball that will win games. So kind of full circle here, it makes sense why the theme of this baseball team this year is to work the count, right? Or just work the
Control
zone.
the zone, baby.
Control the zone. That's what it is. And that once you control the zone, good things happen, right? Pitchers start getting tired. You start to get in their head. You start to figure out what pitches work for them and which don't. So couldn't be happier there.
You guys know the song? You guys know the song "Walk It Out"?
Yeah.
Walk It Out. Now, Sasa Walk It Out. You know that one?
Yes.
I made a remix.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, the Mariners walk it off. The Mariners walk it off. Hanny walk it off. Seeger walk it off. Shalom walk it off. Seattle walk it off. That's my remix, baby.
That's really cute.
Yeah, 3 walk-offs. You got to get that going. Maybe get that on the PA system and turn it up, not quiet.
That was really good, Sobba.
Thank you. I've been working on it since. Actually, I was really hoping that we would get a chance to walk it off today, so I could use that, because I was thinking about that midway through the game. If we walk it off today, that's 3 walk-offs. And that's a walk it off. Now walk it off. Now walk it off. Now walk it off. I love it.
Thanks for letting us into your brain there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I've always wanted to get in Chris's brain. I've tried. I've come close, but my kid's an enigma. And Chris, Sobba. His wife, you seem like a relative. I'm not saying predictable, but you seem like a level-headed kid. But Chris Sobba,
I hope so.
What else has been happening in baseball? I know for one, the Diamondbacks have lost 17 straight.
Yeah, they're sucking, dude.
17?
17.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, it was at 13, but I guess that was 4 days ago. Huh?
Yeah.
Did they lose today?
They did. They lost to the Dodgers.
Damn, dude.
Pujols hit a 3-run bomb at some point, and I don't know. I was looking at the stats, and one guy I do legitimately miss is Ketel Marte. He's like the
Probably trade for him.
I hope so. He's got a 350 something batting average, and
dude, what if we gave? I think he's coming up on a contract here. What if you gave up like Trammell and like Brandon Williamson? Like,
well, but isn't Ketel an infielder? Isn't he middle infield?
He's played center field for the Diamondbacks, but yeah, he came up with the Mariners as a shortstop. So
we've got a hell of a shortstop. But
I know, but he could probably play second and more. It just moves into like a full-on utility player.
Full-on Mark McLemore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I missed that.
Who we need to get on the show, by the way.
Yeah, I really would love to talk with Mark.
Yeah.
But keep going, Max.
Well, I just was gonna say, it's my soft spot says it's painful to watch a team like that just absolutely get annihilated for just about a month now. But that is baseball. Anything else that you guys are aware of? I just recently started following the MLB Instagram account on my own Instagram. I've just been following like Mariners stuff, but it's a lot of fun. And watching the San Diego Padres, I think at this point are my second favorite team. They're lately they had a pretty intense series against the Cincinnati Reds, also a very decent ball team or ball club. But I just was watching some of their highlights, and there were just home runs after home runs with the packed Petco Park, and it's just fun to watch that stuff because when you are a playoff contending team, the emotions, right? I mean, you talk about Shedlong and you talk about JP Crawford that are very excited when good things happen, but I mean, just hitting bombs at Petco Park with the full stadium. We're about the Seattle fans. We're about
July 2nd
away from that.
July 2nd, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. We have full capacity. It is on a Friday, and I want
tickets.
Everybody. And I'm telling Max, you and I are going. Zweifel, if you can get your ass over to Seattle.
What dates?
July 2nd. It's a Friday.
July 2nd is.
Yeah, that's going to be full capacity allowed, and I'm guaranteed. And I think it's fireworks night as well for you listeners and Seattle Mariners fans. Wow. Get your tickets, get to that game. Monday Mojo will be there, and it's going to be a shit ton of fun. And so I've never actually gone to a firework night, and so I mean it's going to be. We're in Seattle actually. Little weather update here as well. We're about to be hitting that stretch of every time of the summer that we have, where it's just an absolute heat wave. That's going to be coming up during this July stand. And we got to get out there, and we got to see the fireworks, and we got to see the boys, and we got to give them a full stadium. We got to get it sold out.
Here's my rebuttal, actually. All the fireworks that we need is at CowGirls.
There are some smoke shows.
No. Well, we're not sponsored by CowGirls, but it's not just about that.
Hey, Max, after a Mariners game, just hand him the business card and let's get that going, man.
I should have done that, actually. So
I think this is a strip club.
No, it's not a strip club.
It's not. I wouldn't.
They're nice girls.
That. Yeah, they're nice ladies, but it's not about the employees there. It's just about the mentality of when you step into CowGirls. It's just like, oh, we don't really care.
What is it? Is it a bar?
Yeah, it's like a.
This whole time I thought you were talking about a strip club. I'm like,
don't they have a mechanical bull inside as well?
Oh yeah, they got a bull.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like they look at the mechanical bull, they look at the dancing people on the bar tops, and they're like, oh, like I can lower my standards a little bit. So that's where the fireworks have been for me. But I have been to one fireworks show after a Mariner game, and fun enough. It's fun. Is what I'll say.
Well, also, the Mariners got 74 double plays turned this year, and that leads the MLB.
Leading, right?
Yeah, we're leading the MLB in double plays turned. And the one Ty France had today at first base when Marco was in a jam, he had runners on first and second with one out, and it was a sharp liner. And Ty France got it, threw it to second base, got back to the base with plenty of time, to first base with plenty of time, and turned the double play. And you see Marco in the crouch position. He like pumps his glove like 6-7 times, just so hyped. Just
that was
so
right
hyped.
after the Fraley or that inning. The Fraley play was made as well at the wall.
Yep.
So I thought where you're going with this is a little Evan White segue, which I mean, I thought you were going to talk about how Ty France's defense is so good that we can just trade Evan White and not even think about it and get him out of there. But I don't know. Evan White, I want to see him down there. I know you weren't going there, but we can just
no, we can go there though. I mean, as you were saying in our group chat, I mean, it's fine if he's down there till August. I mean, I'm honestly fine the way that we're playing, as I mentioned with Jake Bowers earlier. And with him going to first base, sometimes Ty France at first base, with those two guys in the lineup and the way that they hit and their fielding has been fine. I don't know if they have any errors since Evan White has been sent down. I don't know if we've had an error at first base.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little bit of a topic change as well. But like, if I were to tell you guys that Shed Long would come up and be what he is, Fraley would come up and be what he is, Terens would show what he's doing, JP Crawford would be a all-star candidate, and same with Kikuchi. Would you take that even if we were 6 games under 500 right now? I mean, I think the fact that we're 2 games over and we've seen the emergence of some of these guys that are going to be here for a while, like, who knows? Kikuchi could come back next year. There's a little bit of a hang up with his contract of the fact that if we pick it up, or if the team option is if we pick it up, he's here for 3 years. But if we decline it, he can either choose to be here for a year or go and be a free agent. So I think the move is you decline the option and then he hopefully chooses you and doesn't choose free agency. But I mean, that's something else. You can either respond to that or the other stuff, but it's all interesting.
I hope that he wants to stay in Seattle, and because we were talking about with Andy McKay. I mean, obviously this is the first MLB team he's ever played on, the first and only, other than being playing overseas. But we've been able to, kind of get him comfortable in the U.S. and in the MLB, and I hope that goes a long way for a player. Which in the MLB it doesn't as much. In the NHL it does go a long way. Kind of off topic, I guess. Like NHL players are this year specifically are like declining big contracts because they want to stay with like the team that they've been on. I absolutely love that. I mean, they're getting paid a shit ton already. But who am I to tell somebody how to get paid and whatnot? I hope to God Yusei stays because Yusei would potentially become our ace. He's so damn good, and with his stuff is just getting better and better and better every time.
And Marco's had a down year, but this isn't who Marco is. So if you can put those two together, and then Gilbert takes the next step. And Dunn, who's been really good, takes another step. I mean, you don't.
And Chris Flexon continues to do what Chris Flexon's been doing.
Yeah, man. You always need. You can't have too many starting pitchers. Maybe none of them are bona fide aces, but Kikuchi's a really good 2. I think Marco most of the time is a good 2. We've already talked about this, but I mean, Sheffield's coming up. Gilbert's going to maybe be the ace in the next 2-3 years. So, and then we got all those guys coming up with Hancock and Kirby. Who I'm going to go see Kirby. For the Dust, he's playing against the Dust Devils on Tuesday. We go scout our boy George Kirby out.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at us, man. Me and Max have been going. We went to the Everett game. Evan went to Tacoma, and now you're gonna see him play in the Tri-Cities. We're covering the map, boys.
Yeah, I'm something.
I got the Southeast region.
You got a Southeast region. Well, yeah. I guess this can kind of segue to what's coming up next week. And we finally have a couple of days. As a fan's perspective, this isn't necessarily what we want, but as a player's perspective, this is exactly what they want. They have 2 off days this week, Monday and Thursday. And we've only had like 1 off day. We haven't had very many off days in this past big stretch of games. So with Ty France getting kind of hurt at the end of the game today, it seemed like his wrist kind of was uncomfortable in that last at bat specifically. Huge off day for him tomorrow to recover. And then Thursday, I mean, even more time off. And so that'll be some much needed rest for the boys. But we got a 2 quick game series against, I believe, the worst team in the National League, Colorado Rockies. And in that game, we are Chris Flexon is going to be starting, and the starters for the Rockies, Kyle Freeland, he's got a 9.58 ERA right now, 0-2 record, and so hopefully we can take advantage of that. And Chris Flexon pitching at home, we all know what Chris Flexon does when he pitches at home. He dominates. Not quite the same story on the road, as the numbers do not lie, but that'll hopefully we can get a 4-game sweep, a 2-game sweep, it's still a sweep. So if we can get another sweep and go back to back, that would be pretty sweet. And then
Max, would you take 2-0
against the Rockies?
Would you take the best case scenario?
What? Is that a loaded question? Because
I'm just
yes.
joking with it.
No. Yes,
we always ask these. We're always underestimating the Mariners, and we're like, "Would you take 2 out of 6?" Like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it.
So Sobba and I have had our bad juju with calling series. So I'm going to steer clear of it. However, I think
you wouldn't take 2.
No, but here's what I'll say. I think it's completely manageable. And the reason why it's so important is because after that off day on Thursday, Friday, June 25th happens to be my 27th birthday. So get me something nice. Friday, June 25th is the start of our 3-game series against the White Sox in the South Side Chicago. So it's incredibly important that we do what we can against the Rockies at home, bring home a couple W's, and that way, collateral damage or damage control can be done in Chicago against the White Sox, because as our man Dave Sims said on the very first episode of Monday Mojo, the White Sox are gonna be a bitch, and so far they have been. Division leaders at American League Central Division, but should be a short but interesting week of baseball for the Mariners. The last thing we're gonna do here too before we sign off. Who are our pick, boys? I go last.
You do go last. Max, this is only your second time doing it now?
Yeah, this is my second time doing it, but the first time I did it, I was gone the very next week. I picked Taylor Trammell 2 weeks ago, and he didn't do shit. So
I think he got you negative.
Well, I don't know. The first 2 games, he went 2 for 4 or something, and I thought that was really good. But I have a player in mind, but he's probably going to be gone. Evan, congrats on going 3-0. Who do you got this week?
I'm gonna go with JP. So I'm just gonna go with the hot bat. I'm not going out of the ordinary. I just love the way he's just been swinging it, and I think he's gonna keep it going. And I think he's got a lot of confidence at the plate. So I'm going JP.
Yep.
Did I come in second place? I did. I 100% because you had Jake Fraley and he didn't do you too much. I had JP. He definitely came in second. So with that, Evan's going to take JP, and I couldn't have taken him anyways. But I think I want to go with I'm going to just go with JB, Mr. Jake Bowers, just because he's been swinging a hot bat, and I don't want to pick the big names. We got to get some of these younger guys some love, and I'm going with Jake Bowers. Let's see what he can do, and hopefully get me my first W, because Evan is just getting a sweep of his own.
All right, Mitch has not gotten a lot of love on the show, and if you had Mitch this last week, you wouldn't have done much. But you buy the dip, boys. Going Mitch,
that the truth?
Going me, Haniger, and we'll roll it on to Maxie, because I probably didn't take your player. Who do you got?
No, you didn't. I've been wanting to pick this man for since we started this thing, and I could not agree more with buying the dip here. And I think the dip has already happened, and he's starting to see recovery. He's starting to see, but I'm going with Ty France.
No, I thought you were going to say Cal Seeger.
No.
I thought you were going to say Luis Torrens.
No, I was Luis was my second, but I'm still not sold on him yet. I just think he had a hot streak.
Yeah.
And I want to see Ty France, because he's more of a, I think, solid pick, just consistent wise, right? He had a slump. He's pretty much out of that slump, and I want to see him do big things this week.
But he kind of hurt his wrist.
Yeah, you don't know if you don't know how much he's playing this week, man.
Oh shit. Well,
so
I can't do anything right.
I think our picks are locked.
We'll lock them. Okay. Well, if Ty France doesn't play, shit.
It happened to me with Kyle Lewis in the first pick to hit that we did. Kyle Lewis got hurt in the first game, and now he's on the 60-day IL. Yeah. So, yikes.
Well, Ty France it is.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, thanks again for listening to another episode of Monday Mojo. My name is Max Schwabe. I'm here with Chris Weifel, Christopher Sobba, and Evan Barron. It's summer. get outside. Boys, do you have any advice for our Seattle listeners or our listeners around the world?
Yeah.
Hey, thank your father. He brought you into this world. Let's go.
Yes, and for our Seattle listeners, I do have some advice. Again, go to the game on July 2nd. I need to see this to be a sold-out crowd because we don't get, as Mariner fans, we don't get to be in a stadium where it's packed and it's full of Mariner fans. Normally, if it's packed, it's full of Blue Jays fans or Red Sox fans or Yankees fans, and it pisses me off. But we have a chance to see a fully packed stadium, and I want to see everybody there. I want to see everybody getting loud. So appreciate y'all, and go Mariners.
Go Mariners. Have a great week, friends.